this debate is. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe in a society in which we pursue our own human dignity and our own achievement. I believe that the reason why I'm breathing isn't the meaning of my life. I really believe that the superiority of the breathing of that life is solely functional. It's so I can pursue the contribution which I feel that I can make to my society. That I am capable of contributing to society in saying to whom we should be giving charitable donations. And in recognising this dignity that I have, the contribution that I am able to make, I am not willing to let first proposition or second opposition destroy that value of that contribution. So what am I going to talk about? I'm going to stem from Hugh's idea of the nature of this moral responsibility, and I'm going to talk about the huge danger of the imposition we're putting on people. I'm saying we're not putting a moral responsibility on people, we're saying that this is a burden which is immoral to place on people. I'm saying that that burden, that moral responsibility, doesn't exist, and I'm not willing to let that stand. My second point is I want to talk about Africa, because there's been a lot of talk about let's be the best people ever, but ultimately what this is about making us happy and making them happy. So my second point is going to be like, how are we going to help Africa? We're going to do it by being a proper society and then making them one. So talking about my first point, Hugh brought this idea to us that you simply, first brought us this idea that you should be giving the money off automatically. Once you're beyond your fundamental rights, you should be giving. Why? Because you can. But they've given us this open-ended statement where they said, you should just keep giving. Keep giving, keep giving. No non-essential goods. Absolutely, you must pursue, keep buying that. But where do you draw the line, ladies and gentlemen? Where do you say, do I have a moral obligation to work 80 hours a week to the neglect of my children, of my family, or the pursuit of my human dignity? Where does that end? Should I just keep going? In fact, maybe we should harness other people's labour. Maybe we should just find a way where we can grab the most amount of people, the most amount of money from people who are just put in boxes where all their basic needs are fulfilled. I'll feed you, I'll water you, I'll put some air holes, and then we'll just keep going. And then I'm like, wait, hold the phone. We've robbed people of so much that now Africa is not really that great. And the Western world is awful. I'm like one continent at a time.
The line is when African children stop starving. That's it. We're not asking you for like a communist equivalency. Just stop African children from starving.
Right. Well, what I'm going to talk about... Well, what I really want about it saying is that, yes, there is a line in terms of Africa, but there's always going to be a degree of human suffering. There's never going to be a way in which we can tackle that. And that when we're saying that there will be some stage a way in which we can tackle that, the only way that we're going to find a solution in which we can find a permanent one, rather than living in quiet desperation of all of our lives and throwing money to people, that I believe that if you want to find a proper solution to Africa, you need to find one which first doesn't compromise human dignity and my pursuit of what I want to do. And second of all, I don't want to do that in a way which is going to make Africa slightly less poor but morally bankrupt, because they deprive other people in another part of the world of their right to fulfill what they believe they can fulfill. So moving on to my second point, which is what we want for Africa. We want to show them a fair and just society. Otherwise, we just rob a load of people, keep them in prison, rob all their money, keep them in prison, be like, you're doing grand, the money's in Africa, are you happy? Yeah, right. What we're saying is that we want to represent a good example to them, because just as we acknowledge our own right to self-actualize and pursue our own, I think that Africa should have the same opportunity. And if you're talking about this idea of finding solutions for Africa, I believe that because we want a society which is dignified and people can use their non-essential goods to achieve, to provide for their family, to provide for themselves, I believe that that idea of succeeding and earning that right is fundamental to the success and the innovation and the leadership in which we can save a problem for Africa. Because if you're not going to do that, no one's going to find a solution. We're living in quiet desperation. And I want to move on to this idea of what I'm earning and then what is being taken from me. I'm earning money. It's mine. Because I earned it. I made that contribution. I made that good to society. And if I'm to say where that good is going to go, I am happy to make that decision. I'm a valid and I'm a productive member of society. And I want to say that I want to protect my family. I want, if I've suddenly been given the opportunity that Africa has been robbed of, or that my previous generations in a Western world have been robbed of, if I'm saying that I want to pursue that and take that good only exists because of the contribution that I made to society. And the fact of the matter is that people are necessarily altruistic, and I'm extremely glad they are. But if they were selfless, nothing would get done. If they were absolutely selfless, where would be the incentive to work that little bit harder than the other person? Because you want them to feel happy that they got first and you took second. Where is the idea of leading people, of bringing things forward and producing the good that you can make within society? And if you're telling people that each good that they create within our society must now go to a specific area, you're undermining the value that they could make, and that these are the people who have who can afford non-essential goods. They've made this contribution to society, and they're able to distribute that in a way that they see fit, that they think is going to be good for our society. No thanks. And that we really need to push that dignity, push that leadership. We need to say, though, I want to stop suffering in Africa, but there's no way I'm going to do that by compromising the values within my own society. There's no way I'm going to level up right to the bottom of basic needs, because that's an extremely dangerous line in itself. And there's no way I'm going to ruin the value that people have, that we have this ability to have non-essential goods of varying kinds and combination too. That there's no point in saying that there's no point in striving for Abercrombie and Fitch. Because at the end of the day, if you're striving for Abercrombie and Fitch, you're making a bit of cash, and fingers crossed, because people are naturally altruistic, they're going to send it to Kenya. And so, finally, if you look at this idea of us being seemingly rich within the society and finding a solution to Africa, I believe that under this grounds of the nature of the moral responsibility, that we need to preserve morality in order to preserve the moral responsibility. I've argued that this is destructive to morality in the excessive burden it places on people. And I've said that it stops the incentive for the creation of non-essential goods, in that it removes people's decisions on whether or not they want to make a particular type of contribution to society. And so we keep earning money